we are finally on board. You know, this has happened to me a couple times, Thomas. And here's what I know. Leaders know how to shift. Leaders know how to figure it out in the moment and make shit happen when shit breaks. So all good. Let me just do something over here because here we go. I can see it on YouTube and my audio started popping through my headphones. All right, let me give you a little tiny little snippet of who this amazing man is. Thomas Mangum is a dynamic speaker, a memorable facilitator, a provocative coach. He's drawn on diverse experience in business as an entrepreneur, a military interrogator, and a podcast host to help leaders connect. So for the last 17 years, he has supported leaders across the globe in reinventing what is possible. When I tell you that kind of scratches the surface of who this man is, that is the truth. So Thomas, welcome. Thank you for being here on Soul, Wit, and Wisdom. We're going to have a great time talking about all things, whatever comes up. This is fantastic. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, it's a complete pleasure, Kristen.
I love you. So basically how I've been starting this conversation with the amazing leaders who come on board here is just to give the viewers a little background on you, on your history, and really the context of the conversation is what are some of the more empowering ways that we human beings can take lemons and make lemonade? How can we take a situation like, I don't know, a global pandemic, or, I just lost my job, or, whatever the shit that's occurring in your life, like, how can we actually transcend? How can we, like, what are the mechanisms and what occurred for you in your life when you were at your lows to actually pull you up? Because really, this is what life is all about. And right now, a lot of people are viewing where we are now as a dip. And I view where we are now as a complete opportunity to reinvent. And we were talking about this right before we got on. So what I'd love for you to do is just share your history with the dips, and then almost like Phoenix rising, coming out of the ashes. And what has your experience of that been like? And how can we, once we get done with that, then we'll talk about what people can do in this time.
Yeah, thank you. Wow, what a great start, Kristen, because that's what I love about you. It's like skipping the small talk and getting right to the large talk. Can we just get to it? Can we skip over the fluff? And I love it. Hey, tell me about a really horrible time in your life. No, that's what I was taking away. But
tell me when you were at your shittiest moment.
But you know, here's the interesting thing, because it's times like this that truly reveal us.
Yes.
And it's something that I deeply believe, and it comes through crystal clear right now, because in my years in this particular existence, that says a lot right there, you know, in this lifetime, I can look back to, I remember two very specific where I thought that's it. That's the lowest. That is the most horrible. Those were those times. And what's really interesting, coming through and being in this period of time right now with the pandemic, there are a lot of similarities. But it's sort of like having gone through boot camp, the first two. And
military veteran.
Let me break that down. It's not like from a classic boot camp, you know, get yourself worked out physically. I mean, it's that I've gone through rehearsal twice, and I don't mean any disrespect on that. This is not the same thing. And there are some similarities with simply coming through and, okay, Thomas, do you get stuck in like a deer in the headlights? Or do you go, breathe, be present, you're here. Okay, let's check in on where you are. Where are you right now? I'm here. All right, great. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to create? It's almost that grounded piece. And even as you were doing your intro right there, I was thinking, well, what is that first thing? What is it that we can do? What did I do? It was learn to breathe. Now that probably took me several weeks or months to actually get the point to simply be present and even be grateful for what is going on. Now it's coming back to me on this piece, is because you were asking, The last major time I went through a really big dip was the 2008 crash.
Mm.
And it was probably more the end of 2009, because as a friend of mine said, you know, most people are getting hit and taken out of the game in 2008. If you guys don't remember, it was a kind of a global recession, but most certainly in the US and Canada. And for as a friend of mine said, he goes, well, I said, this isn't really affecting me. He's like, okay, maybe you just have deeper pockets right now, you know. And it was true at that point. And I could withstand it for a little bit longer. And then, you know, as I like to tell people, is that most of 2010 was a recovery period. And I have to say, and I started working with a coach and all of that. And but this is about learning to live again. During that period of time was probably my darkest. This is the second time in my life, not the first one a long time ago. The most recent one, that 2009, 2010, it was just really learning to be present and breathe and realize that I'm still breathing, no matter if hell is happening around me in all areas, is that I was still waking up. I still had breath in my lungs. And this may sound kind of funny. I don't know if this sounds funny to your friends that are listening, or maybe they're going like, oh my gosh, yes, you're speaking my language. It's just my truth. It took me a while to really get it though, because I think even if I had heard someone speaking like I'm speaking right now back then, there would have been, I'm going to call you out just in case your people don't know. Your favorite word is F.
You can say it loud, say it proud. If people don't like it, they don't need to follow this shit. Go. He knows me.
Because I know, because first I remember it was back in 2010, and I was like going to sleep and I'm just like, fuck, I hope I don't wake up in the morning. I'd say there were more nights of that. And really don't cry for me or feel bad for that. It was just my truth in that moment, is that I just felt like, I'm done, dude.
Yeah.
I have been beat up. I have been stomped on. I led a great life, and my world was collapsing. And I thought, oh my God, please don't wake up in the morning. And guess what? I kept waking up. Yeah. I kept waking up. And eventually you just surrender. At least I did. I eventually just had to surrender because my body was beat up. My mind was beat up. My emotions were beat up. And so this gets back to, what are the practical pieces? It's all connected to the story. Is that take a deep breath, Thomas. I remember a voice in my head of, I don't know, I'd heard some wisdom somewhere. It's just that if there are breath in your lungs, your mission is not complete. Oh. I know that sounds kind of military. Oh, I know that sounds kind of military, but it's also from a beautiful, soulful, spiritual place of like, okay, I guess so. And Kristen, I'll tell you right now, where I was angry at night, many mornings I was in tears. I'd wake up and I'm like, God, man, I'm awake. Fuck, man, come on. You know, I'm like, I don't want to do this again today. So this time shall pass. That's another little piece of wisdom. As long as I was still breathing, okay, so what can I do? What can I be? What can I, even do? And so for me, I was in such a dark place of where I was taken out financially with a lot of relationships, strategic relationships. My business completely collapsed. I primarily was a seminar speaker, and seminars friggin' dried up. I mean, all training and development budgets just dried up, gone. And, what could I do? And so I remember one of the first tests, you might get a kick out of this, is that I remember my coach was working with me and I was yelling at him on the phone. How's that? That was crazy. Hired the guy and I was yelling at him and he's trying to help. But he was so good is that he never let that affect him. And that's a good coach. I'm telling you right now, because he knew that wasn't the true me. It was just this, angry thing. And I said, what? He says, what could you do today, Thomas, if you're down? And let me make sure we're in the context of this. This applies directly to what's going on right
The parallels are crazy. Yeah.
It is stunning. It's like I'm on again. It's like, whoa, you've been training for this. You've been there. It's crazy. So he said, what can you do? And that was his most popular question. We did 10 minutes a day, by the way. It was really important. I'm serious. Like every single day I called him for 10 minutes for a period of time to get me on track. And he says, okay, so what are you creating today? I'm like, dude, getting after all the drama and yelling at him, because sometimes, you know what I mean? It's just sort of like, I don't want to talk to you right now,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And he says, what can you do? And I'm like, yeah, there's nothing I can do, dude. I can barely get off the sofa today. I ain't into it. He goes, so what do you want to do? I'm like, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to shorten the story on this. It got down to that a big win for the day was getting outside to sit in the sun. Another big day was walking around the block to the end of the block, not even around the block, to the end of the block. Hey, the crazy thing is, this is like the tortoise and the hare.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm taking away, is something that he taught me, was that if you're still breathing, well, let's do something. Even if your beingness isn't there, let's physically do something and see if the physical part shifts you emotionally and mentally. And so he was really baby stepping, turtle stepping me, if you will.
Yeah.
And so we used to build on that. And then before you know it, I was up to running. This is from a guy that, like, are you serious? If you said, let's go for a run, I'm going, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
I'll do any other exercise except for that. And it's weird. So he didn't start with the business side. I was so in the depths of despair that I had to work on just sort of like living or being present.
Yeah.
I can
Seriously.
I can keep going. I really can. I want to keep a little, I don't want to be crazy and then dominate the whole thing.
Dominate, like, this is the whole piece of this is like, and what's so fantastic about what you're saying, because I'm just over here like this, because of the freaking parallels. Like, I have had conversations with clients. Can you breathe right now? Do you have breath? Clients who are in panic and overwhelm and anxiety, and that, what you said earlier, deer in the headlights, like paralysis. I can't even move. Great. Do you have breath? Because right now, literally, is all you have. So you have the present moment, you have breath. I love, if there's breath in your lungs, you're not complete. Like, I had to write that down. And yes, that could be a military thing. That can also be a human being thing. Like, just a human being thing. Like, and you get to choose whether you're here or not. Like, what I'm hearing you say is even though you woke up like, fuck, I'm here again, like, pissed that, like, God didn't take you, it wasn't time for you to go. Yeah. That you still had breath, and all you had to do was stand up, or all you had to do was walk outside. And it was just the next thing to do. And what I've been talking about with people is, we are in a context of, if everything, like you said, your world had collapsed, if everything went away, the question that seems to me to be right there is, well, now what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. If it's, I'm not going to speak for everyone. Internally, I want to, but it's like, I'm in a period of reinvention. Yes. And I suspect a lot of people are being forced into a period of reinvention, recreation, which is sort of hilarious. Recreation, recreation. They're forced. They're being forced into it. And this, I've discovered, is life. This is life. This is every single day. So one of the reasons I kind of come back around to is that it feels like I've been in boot camp, or I've been in training for this, is because when I have worked for Fortune 100 companies, I made a declaration, I think it was 6 years ago, that I'm going to work for every single one of the Fortune 100. They're going to hire me, and we're going to do some work together. Wow. And I got up to, 83 or something like that? 83 of the 400, of the Fortune 100. So anyway, the point is that was always a huge part of the message, is, what do you want? Where are you? What's it going to take as a way of being and doing and action and relationships to get from point to A, from A to B as quick as possible? Now, that sounds very elementary. It's very analytical for analyticals that might be watching us right now. That's like, duh, that's like the easiest equation ever. And then there's the work. That seems to be the work right there. And it's always been of like, are you adaptable, resourceful, creative? Are you willing to reinvent? Are you willing to do what most people simply want, to have a life that that others want, and maybe you've never had. It's going to require that. It's going to require that. And so I'm bringing it back around to now, is that this is the same message. So if there was any core of what I've been able to support people on and be a guide to, I mean, just based upon sheer experience, is reinventing what's truly possible. And not just from up here. You know what I mean? Because, listen, I have a couple friends of like, oh, you help people with that fluffy, feel good, positive thinking. You're a motivational speaker. That sort of makes me cringe when someone says I'm a motivational speaker, because I don't think I can ever motivate anyone. Because I like to get down into what are the tangible things to move from A to B. Because maybe it's like you, is like, I'm just not satisfied someone hiring me as a service provider. And it's like, I just feel better. And that's great. That's a great bonus. And it's like, what have you been getting? Are you getting closer to where you wanted to be? Big client, big corporate client, or whether it's an entrepreneur, or whether it's a friend that's just in a little need. It was so important to me, but they both go together, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So what you're saying is, here's what I hear you saying. What you've developed: resilience, adaptability, resourcefulness, creativity. So I hear those words and I get a little, like, my mouth waters a little bit, because I'm like, one of the conversations that's been occurring on these interviews is, we all live in a context. We all live in a box called whatever, American society, or what it means to be a mom, or what it means to be an employee, or an entrepreneur, or a husband, or a father. Like, we live in contexts. And sometimes those contexts can be creative if we're aware of them. If we're aware of the box, we can be like, oh, well, what's outside the box? Let me create something new. For many people who they don't even know they're in a box. And I think part of what the message that I'm sending with these interviews really is, open your eyes and see the box. And when you see the box, know that there's something more outside the box. And for me, what I believe is outside the box is your truth. And you said it earlier, it's just my truth. And outside the box is anything and everything, anything and everything. And to me, creativity, resilience, resourcefulness, adaptability happens when we can say, okay, the box has crumbled. Everything I know and have been doing and have created up until now, let's just say, and I'm actually using the sweeping generalization, the analogy, everything has crumbled. It has not. But let's just say your job's no longer there, your income's no longer there, how you work with people's no longer there, how you be has shifted. Like, how you actually operate in the world has shifted. And again, so now what? And when we look at children, they're creative by their very nature. There is no box. They're constantly in creation. And that has been a theme that has come up. Like, and here's what's so great about Thomas. Thomas loves to play. Like we'll get to this, because this is your jam. Your jam is like play, right? Fun, joy, freedom, creativity. Like,
this is going to surprise some people.
Because
I'm a pretty serious dude. And we're like, oh, Thomas is pretty serious, man. When he's on, man. You've seen a different side of me.
I have. And here's the thing. You get to come out of the closet on that. You get to come out of the, like, yes, of course. Can I be professional? Can I be buttoned up? Can I look, can I look the part of an entrepreneur? Can I look the part of a coach? Yeah. And then guess what? The truth is, I love to swear. It's a fucking part of my self-expression, right? I don't do it for no reason. I do it as an emphasis. Thomas, part of what's in your heart is this play, is this, like, how can this be fun? Because why not? Like, why not? There's not enough of it. So talk about this play, because it is. I feel like this is ripe. We've got fertile soil right now. Absolutely awesome. Fertile soil. And he and I are both in the same boat. Our businesses, speaker, presenter, none of that shit's happening right now. So, okay, shift, but talk about you and play. And
sure.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm a hard head, man. And like I know I'm just kind of I'm going to throw all men under the bus because I'm just
Did you say
saying
old men?
No, all men.
Oh,
All men.
like,
Old men too. Well, no, whatever you heard is what you heard, man. That's not a surprise. So you know, last year kicked my butt for various reasons. Like the short version of that, for the first time in my life, is that I had 5 people that actually were close to me and meant something to me die in my life.
Right.
I was stretching myself in all areas, financially, emotionally, mentally, and that already with leading some leadership teams, my business was really cranking, man. And I've always been like traveling on a weekly basis. I just spun off an e-commerce business in the background. It's not like a front-facing type of business, but some other things going on. And so I was stretching in all sorts of different ways. And so when people dying, it was just, there's like when the platter is so full, and I was just collapsing under it. I swear I was having, you were with me in my mastermind group. And it was just, I had moments of nervous breakdown.
Yeah.
And stress was eating me alive physically. I mean, just physically even. So I didn't really discover this until the end of 2019. And I had a mentor that challenged me on that. And like, what do you really want to do? And it's like, I just want to play. Oh, I mean, she kicked my butt challenged me earlier on in the year. And it just became a theme. And there's a piece of me that is such a serious business guy. I love business.
Yeah.
Now, anyone who gets involved with me, everything ties into, and I don't mean from a yucky point of view. Yeah. I just think it's the best personal development journey ever. Yeah. You want to really discover something about yourself, is launch a business. Yeah. It will reveal you, sisters. Yeah. It will really reveal what you're like in the downs and the ups and all of that. Anyway, so play was a challenge and something I really, really wanted, but I had all those same objections and excuses I think a lot of people do, is like, oh, it's kid stuff. I don't have time for that and all that. And then here's the twist that's like crazy, is that my mentor, Wendy, she said, you know what's crazy about this, Thomas, is because you deliver 70 to 80 presentations and you lead trainings around the world for these Fortune 100 companies. And you want to play, but you're making up excuses about why you don't have time to play or why you can't play, but they're paying you to help them play. So you're an excellent trainer. You're an excellent facilitator. You're an excellent coach to help these adults in these big corporations. Yeah, I'm talking Google, Microsoft, these people like this, to help them play, and you're not playing? Are you kidding me? And I'm sort of paraphrasing what I'm taking away what Wendy said. I don't think she said it directly. So it's like, boom. Oh my gosh, I forgot how to play. It's like being a teacher of toddlers or a parent. Think about a parent that is helping the kid play, and then it's work to them. I slipped into that. Yeah. And so what you were mentioning about play is that, so I ended up creating this play workshop specifically around play. And the rules is that I got to deliver this workshop to the public. I don't know, we had like 30, 40 people, something like that. And I got to enjoy it. So we got to explore this together. And the reason I'm resharing this, because I know you know the story, I'm resharing it, is that as adults, even if you're a brilliant business coach or you're a brilliant leader, we forget. What I've found out in my research as studying from behavioral, what do they call them? Behavioral psychologists, different child psychologists, all this sort of like psychiatry, is that as adults, we forget. And we're like, no, I couldn't possibly be forgetting. I'm really smart. I'm an adult. I'm logical. Yeah, because stress
part of the problem.
It's the issue. Yes. And so even play can help us become more creative and more productive. That's what I discovered. Yep. And I've proven on a regular basis. So is it that Thomas Mangum is like, oh my gosh, he's so amazingly playful and he's like this big child? Um, we all are. It's not just me, because I come off very serious and I consciously create moments in space and to daydream and to like just fiddle. Like, look, this is just a crystal. It's just a stone. And it's just that it's a way to, this is just one example. I just grabbed something off the table. You know, it's like this kind of thing. This is playful to me. This is a jar of stones and crystals and things that are just shiny objects and collectibles for no other reason. This may make no sense to you watching, is that it's just that it stimulates my creativity. It's playful to me. I get to daydream. I get to pretend. And if it works for kids, it also works for adults. We just make it logical. We disconnect.
And we stop placing value on we stop placing value on something if there is no logical connected reason for it. Like, oh, is this going to make me money? Is this going to, right? Is this going to improve my business sense? Is this, what's the point of it? And the point of it is to do it. The point of it is to actually experience it.
Well, for the logical, I mean, for my analytical folks, and I can't help it because I have a huge dose of that, is because I have the same little voice. I think I have a similar voice to some people of like, you're kidding me, dude. Like, I just really need to get my business off the ground. I need to reinvent because I'm getting killed right now. I'm paying all these employees. I mean, like, I need some solutions right now. Maybe you need some PlayDoh. Do what? Dude, I am paying you X thousands a month. And what are you talking about? And I'm like, just play with me. Just pretend for like 10 seconds that this might be a possible solution. What do you have to lose? You're going to be breathing for the next 10 seconds anyway.
Right.
Grab that PlayDoh and watch. Like, I'll put somebody on an exercise. I mean, like a client on the phone. And even like, I'm going really the doubting client. All my clients do not fight me like this, right. But I'm being devil's advocate. So to speak. Right. And they watch and I was like, how was that? And I'm like, well, it was pleasing. That's cool. If you allow yourself these tiny little moments, and I mean seconds, my friends, like, this is not just, you don't have to take an hour to go to the friggin' gym. I mean, you can't do that now anyway,
right?
You know, or go play a ball or something. It's the tiniest little things. I have proven, and there are scientists far smarter than me that I have read their research, and we work with this, is that they have proven that productivity and creativity with executives goes up tremendously. It's like, ding, like, wait a minute. Are you serious? Playing with PlayDoh with no particular direction for a couple of minutes, or grabbing some craft sticks, or grabbing your kid's coloring book, or your nephew or your niece. Give me a break. You probably, even if you don't like kids, you probably come across a kid.
Yep.
Something. I'm going to tie this back to what my analyticals always want to know, is like, what's the point of all of this kid play? I promise you, I will absolutely promise you, is that your productivity, creativity, resourcefulness will go up every damn time. Yeah. And even if you've got to try to not have fun. You've got to try to stymie it.
Don't smile.
That's it.
Yeah. And I love it, because what you're actually saying is, it's not in the doing that magic and miracles and real transformation happens. It's not in the doing. It really is like when I think about an adult, kind of like even just a stodgy analytical adult who's just logic and facts and reason, and all that shit's great. All that shit's great. And right now, what if the access to your next unbelievable idea, or your next epiphany about, what you're doing on the planet, or your next interaction with the stranger who's going to be your husband or your wife, what if just the fact that you allow your mind to stop thinking? I don't know. I'm going to pause here for a second. Stop thinking. I watched a Bruce Lipton interview yesterday. It's on my personal page. If you don't know who Bruce Lipton is, please, he might be a little kooky. Give it a minute. The Biology of Belief is a fascinating look at where consciousness, spirituality, and science meet. Fascinating. Go watch it. It's on my page. What if in those moments where we stop and we play, we're not trying to, we're allowing the brain to stop thinking. We're just allowing the brain to stop processing, thinking, analyzing, controlling. Because really, what happens when we're on that track in our brains? What happens when we're in the, I don't know, even a fear conversation or a scarcity conversation, or my life is falling apart, or what the fuck with this COVID? I just want it to be over. It's the, I can't be here now. Play happens right now. It happens right now and allows your brain to stop thinking. And I have done the exact same thing and been like, something that I'm working on out here in my business, or a problem that I can't seem to figure out the answer to or the solution to, magically comes to me. When I let that shit go, when I let controlling it, finding the answer go, and allow myself to just be and create and play and have fun. I'm a controller. Controllers be controlling. I don't like to give up control. So this has been this amazing magical experience for me to allow stuff to come through by giving up control. You said it earlier, surrender. Surrender is one of the most, it's a fucking superpower.
It is extraordinary to see. I'm thinking back to a lot of the workshops, team building experiences that I facilitated for leadership and corporate. And there's always a handful that are so controlling throughout the entire thing, they're exhausted.
Yeah.
And I always did my very best to facilitate them letting go without making them wrong, because it's not, that always drove me crazy. Any kind of facilitator or a teacher is just like, you're wrong, I'm right. Arrogant. It's like coaxing. That's where the coaching comes in. I know some people got a weird relationship with the word coaching, but it's like really to coax, to really coax something out, that to allow yourself, you're going to be here for a couple hours with me.
Yeah.
Why not have a little fun? I mean, the worst thing that could happen is that you played along and supported, you did something so that your other team members felt a little bit better. So, and the best case is, oh my gosh, I had fun and I actually learned something, which was usually the result.
Right.
Adults are so surprised because we think we know what's going to happen because, we've been there and done that. But think about this. Why should we as adults be so arrogant to think that kids have it wrong? Because here's a kid, right? We're probably smarter than a child. But you watch a child, they just pick up and play, they daydream, they doodle, they play with that Lego block. And I'm like, yeah, but the Lego block you're supposed to build things with. And she just keeps playing with the Lego block, like fiddling with it. Do you know that's problem solving happening? It's a strange thing. That's problem solving happening. When we've been conditioned, Kristen, this will probably resonate, is it'll take you back to maybe not so good times in childhood. We've been conditioned out of just playing and not playing, because it's like, Kristen, young lady, stop doodling in school, like straighten up. It's like, stop talking and all of this. And it's like, it's traumatic. It's a little PTSD going on, of like, why are you just playing with that one? You're supposed to be learning. And here's the crazy thing is, it's really arrogant, because kids are fine.
Yeah.
When they're playing, we've now learned is that is very specific problem solving. They're building problem solving skills. They're actually building sharing skills as well. They're learning differentiation. There's all these, like, I'm kind of nerd out on some of the psychology of it by studying these psychologists. And so as we take it to the present, so let's take it as, how does all this, just even this play and creating moments, or allowing yourself a moment to doodle, to draw, to daydream, to fiddle, whatever you call it, something like that. What if that was the very key to bring groundedness, mindfulness, presence, clarity, resourcefulness, compassion, empathy, connection back into your life?
Yeah.
What if that was an access point? Now, I don't need to be right about this. I'm most committed to an individual that is, if they say they're here and they say they would like to be there, this is one possible way to create that connection. I'm cool with being wrong. I'm cool with you coming with a completely different way, because ultimately it's more important that you are creating the result that you came for. As a friend, it isn't, I don't only do this with people that just hire me. This is how I'm built. If my brother and I are talking and he goes, hey, I got this going on, would you like some help with that? Oh, no, I'm cool with it. I like to ask these kind of questions because some people don't want feedback. They don't even want anything. And I'm like, great. I mean, what have you tried so far? Oh, I've tried this and this and this and this. Oh, okay. Would you like a suggestion, or you just want to talk it out? Oh, give me a suggestion, Thomas. And boom. And I'm like, oh, I don't think that'll work. Oh, okay, great. I'm more committed to that. I ain't got no ego. And if someone doesn't like play,
Yeah.
Are you ready to place an ad? Are you ready to create a networking strategy or a landing page? We can help you with that one too. That's just me being absurd. I mean, I'm motivated, maybe like you, Kristen, is like simply being a contribution,
Yeah.
and to help my friends, my community, and the world around me reinvent what's truly possible in their lives. I would never be so arrogant to presume that everyone's having the same experience that I am. Because if anything, I have been excited. Not that people are dying.
No.
Give me a break.
No.
It was just, this is energetically, it's like I can actually be of service, and people are even more receptive to hear.
Yeah.
Hey, how can I get out of this? How can I actually build my business? How can I start a business?
Yeah.
I was just fired and terminated, dude. Let's put our heads together.
Yeah.
Let's work it out.
Yeah. So here's what's so great. I just got this kind of flash. You and I talked, I don't know when it was, when you came here, and and I know over the course of the last at least 6 months that you were kind of dialing back your travel, and you were on you were on extended vacation.
Yeah, November. I mean, I said no. I drew a line in the sand because I was such a yes man.
Yeah.
And I drew a line in the sand, and I kind of put my life on pause, and I said, no, I'm reinventing, because the travel is killing me. All of this stuff is killing me. We get to create and reinvent, man.
And here's what I love about this. I believe we know stuff. I believe we know stuff. And that you began this process. I've talked to multiple people who are like, it was just like this feeling of unrest, or this feeling of like, I just want to like, I've been feeling it. Just pause, just hit the pause button for a minute. And you started that back in November. You knew, like, collectively, I believe we have been asking for, can I just have a minute? Can I just stop the pace for, like, I felt that
Mother
way.
Earth, it's like Mother Earth pretty much just said, hey, can I have a pause right now?
And so, and I believe that. And so with that, we've been alluding to it. We've been talking about it. What's the opportunity right now for people?
First thing that came up is lead with your heart. I see some of my corporate friends. I know this is just my little voice, because it's not really true. But little voice is like, did you just say that?
Yeah.
Did you just say that to?
He did.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, stop.
And it's really good advice, by the way.
Just friggin' stop, dude. You know who I'm talking to right now. It's not just Kristen. He's watching.
I love it.
He's watching. Michael, I guarantee you, I know this. It's like, just take a breath. You're good, dude. Really. Because at some point, you're going to come back to something that Kristen said early on, at the beginning of this piece today. And he said, oh, okay. So now what? Because breathe. And so now what? And then be at peace with that. Be in the question, as I like to say. Be in the question, and let it sit for a moment. Okay, so now what? And if you're quiet and you breathe and not try to force it, and just surrender, this is a way of being. And so I'm even really taking a deep breath with it, of just allow yourself to surrender into this moment and breathe. What do you really want? Oh, I really want a job. Deeper.
Yeah.
Why?
Yep.
Well, because it gives me something to do. Why? I like to, about to sneeze here too.
Yep.
I think we're good.
No, hey, let it fly. Let it
No,
fly.
it's going away. But the reason I went off on this is because this clarity comes if we just pause for a moment and take a deep breath. Now, I don't mean pause and go, because as adults, sometimes if I say, hey, focus in on this, weirdly, people stop breathing. I've just found this in my workshops. It's just like, okay, think about this for a second. Focus on this. And they freeze. And I'm like, okay, breathe too. You can breathe.
Right.
And so when I said check it, go back to your heart, is this like, what does your heart tell you? What is your soul? If you don't use the word heart, like your soul, what is that? What's the wisdom? What's the inner wisdom? Some may call it, I was listening to Shanda Sumter, our mutual friend Shanda Sumter this morning. She's on about the exact same message. It's about reinvention and recreation. She didn't say the same words, but that's what she's on about as well. And she used the word of just like, I don't know where it's going to go today, and Holy Spirit's going to take me away. Now, whether it's Great Spirit, Holy Spirit,
God,
your soul,
universe,
your
source,
gut, your
Mother
gut,
Nature,
a fart, a burp. I mean, like take a deep breath, allow yourself to really realize you're here, you're fine, you're still breathing. Work and connect with people that love you and support you, and know there are plenty of us out here that I have no judgment.
Yeah.
I'm not judging someone. People don't need to be freaking judged, or at least I'm not consciously judging. Okay. And it's like, how do we move from here to there? It begins by being present and breathing. And then once you're ready, depends on where someone is that what's a vision of an alternate possibility? So dude, now that you're present, now that you're right here, maybe you've played a little bit, maybe you're done playing with your kids or done fooling around with Netflix and stuff at home. Hey, I'm not saying you should be. I'm not that guy. Maybe you still need to play more. Is what would you like in your life? Yeah. And then get to that. And then ultimately get down deep with these, like what I call I call it the 5 whys.
I call it the 7 levels of why. I hear you.
Oh, do you heard it before? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like, and without a lot of pressure, but really get to something that really speaks to your soul, because maybe being the senior director of usability or user experience doesn't really call you anymore. Oh, but it takes care of my family. And does it?
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Or being a confidence coach, does that still stimulate you? Because if we're all in a period of reinvention and recreation, there's free will. It's a little bit like a kid picking up a toy and then being done with it. How many parents know what I'm talking about right now? That you get this great toy and then they stop playing with it, and you're like, are you serious? They don't play with that toy anymore.
Right.
It was done. So maybe you don't want to be a confidence coach anymore. Maybe you don't want to be
and that's okay.
a marketing.
And that's okay.
Let's work with people that believe that you should be able to create what you damn well want to create. People that support, inspire you, and help you move from that A to that B.
Yeah.
Reinvent.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So final question.
Okay.
Ready? Yeah. I love this. I could do this all day. I could just sit here, blah, blah. I mean, seriously, I never wanted to end. What's the meaning of life?
To be.
I love it.
To be.
I love my people, because I've been asking my people, you're my people. I've been asking my people this question. This is the question that I end with.
Yeah.
Usually some iteration of,
Yeah. Does anyone else have lots of voices in their head and not clinically diagnosed? I do. There are these that I think that's normal. The more I used to think it was weird and fine. I'm an alien, whatever. But these voices, and there's one that goes, dude, you need to say more. And another one's just like, what the hell did you just say? And another one's like this, like the Buddha going,
Namaste, Thomas. Way to knock it out of the park. Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Like, honestly, we're going to leave it at that, because I would actually invite people watching what comes up for you, like leave it at that. If the meaning of life is to be, what do you make that, like, what do you make up about that? What does that mean for you? Like, really, like if it's just to be, wow. I love it. I love it.
There is, I just feel like I want to leave you with this one thing. And speaking to you, Kristen, and of course, and speaking to others as well, is there's something I discovered through this journey of this last year. And man, like I said, it's weird to even look back on. I don't have as much energy on it, but I look back this last year and it was just really dark and scary.
Yeah.
And where I am right now is that there is nothing, and I've declared this out loud to friends and just people that follow me, because it actually gives it more energy and power. It draws in more energy and power when it's said out loud. And that is that there is nothing in my life that is worth getting stressed out about. And I know that can sound, I know that might land weird, but it's just like, there is nothing to get my blood pressure up about, because all that does is just hurt my health. And then I can't really be of use to anyone with that. So why would I let these stressful things, the things that are really just life, just stuff and experiences that are coming at me in life, why would I let that? I mean, that's a choice to let, I believe, this is, no one else may believe this, but I've come to the belief is that I'm choosing to allow that to get my blood pressure up or stressed out about. And so if that's a choice, then I can choose not to. Fine. If that bill doesn't get paid, I'm just making up stuff right now. If I'm going to end up late to that thing, there'll be consequences, but why would I allow myself to get stressed out about it? It's going to happen anyway.
Yeah. I love it. Thank you. I love you. And I would like you to tell people what your free offering is.
Yeah. Come over and have a conversation. You can come over to connectwiththomas.com. That's like my central place to find all my social media, connectwiththomas.com. And if you like to connect on LinkedIn, it's there. If you like to connect on Facebook, it's there. If you like to have a phone call and say, hey, let's just get on the phone, something you said in Kristen's interview that really resonated, can we explore that together? Yeah. And I'm happy to. I'm happy to be, I'm not just happy, I'm thrilled to be a contribution. And I think that probably resonates with you as well, is you simply want to connect and be a contribution with these other beautiful humans right now. Getting back to the simple parts of just connect.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so you'll see it when you go to soulwitandwisdom.com, you'll see Thomas's picture, you'll see his bio, you'll actually see a recording of this interview if you'd like to watch it again there, and also a link to connect with him. And Thomas, thank you so much. I love you. And I love the watching your journey, and I love watching your self-expression, and what you actually do contribute out into the world is magical. And anyone who has the opportunity to talk with Thomas, it is a gift to yourself. So I'll just tell you that. You receive that?
It isn't often I tear up on an interview or a podcast. But I think I'm turning extra red, and I definitely can't see you very well right now because there are tears in my eyes.
I love you. I really do. You're an amazing human being, and I'm honored to know you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time. soulwitandwisdom.com to get the speaker free gifts and stay connected to me. We'll see you later. Bye.